This call is being recorded.
Welcome to a diary of a fashionista, you guys. Things I hope have finally calmed down in my life. I hope the moment I say that, hey, my life is never calm anymore. But today, because communications are so, so, so important when you have a physical disability. Yeah, communications with your team is so important, and email and WhatsApp and everything else is so important, and communications is even equally more important, I think, when you're communicating with your BFF who can't speak via phone, and only the only way Danielle can speak, well, she can, but her preferred method is text, text and emojis, and and everything else. The gifts, the gifs. I don't even know how you pronounce that. Time. See, this is where the older millennium comes in. I don't even know where you how you pronounce it, gifts or gifs. But the reason why I'm laughing is because I had a person tell me the other day that my main aide, who is very good on email, who's very good on text, by the way, and I said, why are you so good at technology? Why do you want to use technology? And she goes, because I want to be able to learn new technology. And that got me thinking about how the amount of text message we send back and forth to anyone and everyone on a daily basis. I mean, it's it's really ridiculous how I get with my text message. I will be sitting in my house. I will send a text, and I'm not kidding when I say this. Send a text, and my dad used to do this. And he used to send me emails in the middle of the day too. And so I will be sitting in my house and I will end up sending a text message to someone who's in my house. And I do it with my stepmom, I do it with my aide, I do it the amount of emails I send is a little nuts. And because I grew up on the older side of AOL. Yes, AOL, you got mail with Tom Hanks in the movie. AOL, you got mail with Tom Hanks and Sandra Bullock. Sandra Bullock owns a bookstore and she's trying to date Tom Hanks. And so every time I hear you got mail, I think of that movie or I think of AOL. And when I was growing up, I'm a 90s kid. I was born in 87. We had no cell phones. I didn't get my first cell phone until I was 8, no, 16. And it was a flip phone on my a family plan, which I don't have anymore. Um, my stepmom thought after my dad died that I was on the family plan with them. I'm like, no, that walked out the door the longest time ago, and so that made her very happy because she didn't have to disconnect that. But the point is, Danielle and I don't care how we, how you guys communicate with us, and this is in general how our fan base communicates with us. We just want you guys to communicate via email, via text, via Twitter, via WhatsApp, via you name it, we're basically on it. And so, yeah, the communications skills when you have a physical disability and when you have a physical disability and limitations in your legs is very, 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 very important. Now, granted, at the end of my dad's life, he could send a text and he could send a text, but he could not speak due to lung cancer. And I know that Stephen Hawking, at the end of his life, did blinking with his eyeballs. And someone asked me today on Twitter if you could lose the capability to write or speak. And I wrote them back on Twitter. I said, do you realize how mean this is to a disabled person, i.e. me? And I put the hashtag wait, equality must wait. And it's like, do you realize how mean that is? And he didn't respond yet to me. But if he wants to block me on Twitter, that's okay with me. But you gotta be respectful when it comes to disability rights on Twitter, and I know there's apps for the disabled who can't who have heavy speech impediment. I know Danielle uses the one. Danielle, do you know what your app is called, by the way?
Yeah, it's so young to go.
Voice to go?
So young.
Follow.
No.
Follow to go.
No.
The,
We are on air on two.
So the voice you use on your iPad isn't a pre-installed app, and see if you can find it and stick it in the show notes and text the link to me so I know. And I know the
Will.
yeah, text the link to me so I know what it is. I know there is Pictello, which is a scheduling picture app for those who have nonverbal skills and need a little bit of help. So, and of course, Amazon and the smart speakers are now becoming my assistive device every single morning. And yeah, don't ask how I acquired two Amazon smart speakers in the same in the same house because um yeah because as I said my aide loves to learn new technology, so I kind of influenced that one. And yeah, so it's like, oh please, now we have two Amazon smart speakers in this house. But my point being is that when you use Google, when you use the Google Home, or when you use the Amazon smart speaker, they people keep laughing at me when I say this, but I've got mine and I have had one since June 22nd, and it's a wonderful assistive device. I mean, it's a just open up my wall. My now, granted, you have to speak to it, and as we said before, Alexa can't. Alexa, stop. And I just sent it and it went off. But as I said before, the Amazon smart speaker can't understand people with heavy speech impediments, which drives me nuts. But yes, yes, it drives you nuts. I know, but there is a capability on the Amazon Smart Speaker now to get it to slow down or speed up. I'm guessing, and I'll Google this, you guys, and I will do my research, and I'll Google this, you guys, and then give you an update as of tomorrow because we're recording Monday's episode on CP and traveling on Sunday. So what I'll do is give you an update as to whether you can use these smart home devices with assistive switch technologies, meaning that you can tap a switch and it will go off without the sound of your voice because these assistive home devices have got to get integrated with um, with people with heavy disabilities. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts that these home assistive devices don't work together. And I can even do one better. I have my lights control on my phone in my room, and so when I'm lying in bed at night, I can turn off the lights, and I'm getting to the point where as soon as I upgrade my light system, which is pretty soon here, I will get to the point where I will tell the Amazon smart speaker to turn off my lights. And so, yeah, you think these Amazon smart speakers are not assistive devices? Well, they are. They are because they are. And you, as I said, people laugh at me when I say this all the time because you guys use assistive devices day in, day out. I mean, you're using Apple's speech to text day in, day out. And that's the next thing I have to teach my aide here how to use speech to text technology. That's one of the things she wants to learn because I'm so skilled at it. And yeah, every time I type her name, it lands. Oh God, yeah. Every time I type her name, it lands up announcing itself as Apple's Siri. So every time she's with me, when when she, I know we have the battle for the wheels going on, and yeah, I know we have the battle, the wheels going on, but every time she's with me, she now has to say it's Siri like the iPhone app. And I'm not kidding. The first time she did not understand, these are like, oh my god, we now have the battle, the wheels going on, and I literally had to turn Hey Siri off on my phone because because she was Apple's Siri was going off every time I mentioned Siri, and then she goes, it's like, oh my god, we have the battle of the wheels. But oh my god, assistive technology. There we go. Communications, the battle of the wheels. But basically, what I wanted to say, and then I'll let Dan, you'll take over, is that Danielle and I don't care how aides or team members or stepmoms or stepdads or parents communicate with us. We just need to know what we're doing and when. And so, yeah, whether it's via email, via text, via WhatsApp, via Snapchat, via Instagram, via, well, Instagram is more a visual thing than anything else. by a carrier pigeon, cerebral palsy just likes to know what's going on and when. And needless to say, my schedule's a little bit wonky this week, but see the power of communications. I was told that my schedule would be wonky this week about 2 months ago. 2 months ago. So yeah, I had time to prepare. And I got Danielle on the schedule having herself. So basically, cerebral palsy doesn't like change. Cerebral palsy doesn't like change. And that's the hard thing when you lose what you knew in life, aka your dad, in May, and then your life turns upside down because of that. But so communications are the key to how Danielle and I function via email, via text, via WhatsApp, via all technologies, quite frankly. And so, Danielle, do you want to say anything else on communications and cerebral palsy?
Yeah, I do.
Communication is really important for everyone. If we don't communicate with each other, then we won't be able to do this podcast, or I can't get a ride to work. Also, we need to talk to each other to keep up to date with friends' life.
Oh, oh, good point. Good point, D. Good point. I say good point because, yes, we do. We use communications to communicate with people all across the country and internationally. And now that I am a disabled advocacy journalist, I use communications as my work. Believe it or not, it's going to be my work starting in 2020, and depending on how my transfer goes in to a new school, strictly journalism program. And so, journalism is my work. Communications is my work, and thank God I have Danielle. And thank God she's younger than me so that she understands this technology because I don't understand it. I mean, I don't understand it. And that being said, Danielle and I have decided to do another shift with Ask Win, and Ask Win will be transferred back to Lipson as of November 1 because Danielle and I are starting to get frustrated by a Simplecast, and apparently Simplecast is not working with Apple Podcast. Danielle, do you want to go into more details about that?
Every time I let you know on the laptop, oh, the iPhone, I have to go to the the bar and not so and so it won't be on the speed.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so it's well, that's why we're transferring back to Lipton because yeah, Simplecast and us can get along, and I would now that I have the finances, thank you very much, to help me out here, I would be happy to pay the on-demand UL, but we'll decide that. Be happy to pay the hosting fee because, as I said, Libsyn is the best. They have not gone down on, and I'm not paid to say this. They have not gone down on me ever, 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 ever. And speaking of communications with them, you can always contact them on Twitter. You can always contact them via their podcast, the feed, the feed at Libsyn.com. The feed is their official Libsyn podcast based off of Libsyn being the host. So yeah, that's why we're transferring back to Libsyn because Danielle and I have given up dealing with Simplecast, and Simplecast is not quite up to date. The rest of these companies are IAB compliant, IEB compliant, sorry. That's a radio standard that now all these companies, except for Simplecast, is doing. And Blueberry was the first, Libsyn was the second. And so it gives real time stats in real time stats in what countries are listening to, how many downloads per day. And yes, we still want 1,000 downloads per day per episode, but we're getting close. We're not there yet. The last time I checked, it was 27 downloads. 27 downloads. And so help us out, you guys. And so we want 1,000 downloads per episode because we're teaching people about cerebral palsy. And Danielle, just speaking of communications, she just texted me the app she uses on the iPad, and it's Prolong to Go. And Danielle, you can stick a link in the show notes. And you have to tell me because I don't know. Is it primarily iPad slash iPhone app, or is it you can work with it on Mac, or is it just an iPhone app, or a iPad app that you can only find in the App Store?
It's small. Small. iPad.
iPhone and iPad, so you can only find it in the i in the App Store. Okay, so it's not for
Yeah. And how but it also on my Apple Watch.
okay. So it's transferred over to the Apple Watch. I am going to look, you guys. I am also going to see if the Amazon smart speaker will look for assistive will work with assistive technology switches. Switches are those big Macintosh switches with people with not so great hand strength. They could tap the switch, and I'm going to see if the smart speakers can work with those switches. And so, yeah, because we need to get assistive technology in these people's hands. um, and I'm also going to see if there is a version on the Android side. Don't ask why I'm talking about Android. I'll get into that story later when we do CP and travel on Monday. Remind me, Daniel, to get into that story later. And so I'm going to check on the Android side where is an app similar to Talking App on the iPhone side because iPhones are better at assistive technology than Androids, and I hate to say that, but on the flip side, the Androids are much cheaper, so I considered looking at the Google Pixel, but a certain person said, "No way!" a certain person who's sitting on this podcast said, "Absolutely not." You're glued to you're glued to iPhone and you're glued to Mac, and so yeah,
You are
and
wrong.
my Apple Watch too. So it's like, oh god, I'm glued to the Apple ecosystem. No, the only reason why I was looking at Androids is because Androids, my biological mom had Android, and so does my aide. And the only reason why I was looking at Androids for assistive technology's sake. That's the only reason why I was looking at Androids to see if I can figure out assistive technology on Androids. But oh no, I'm stuck with Apple for life. And so now I have to look to see if assistive technology, if there's if there's a speaking out loud app on the Android side, because yeah, I am starting to think that um as we all get older, age, thank you very much, and we need more and more assistive technology to communicate. So as we all get older, so I'll be looking, you guys, and I will give you guys the update tomorrow. Yes, I put myself on a time crunch of 24 hours, but that's okay. That's the journalist modus operandi here, to put this up on a time crunch of 24 hours, like I don't have anything else to do
Yeah.
this week. And so I'll look and see if these smart speakers work with adaptive switches, and then as I said, Danielle and I do pretty dang well with communications. Consider CP gets in the way, and my aide and I were talking about. She goes, "People don't know how many challenges you have until they walk a day into your shoes." Now I have more challenges now than I did before my dad died, but yeah, but it's communications and CP tend to mix, but sometimes CB just gets in the way, and it's like, really, CB, really, you want to get in the way of communication, and so, yeah. But tomorrow we're going to do CP and traveling in honor of September 11th, which is this week. And I'm going to be asking all my fans where they were on September 11th. Uh, don't, yeah, I will get into that story later. And yeah, so tomorrow we're going to be doing traveling and CP, because as soon as I get my life reorganized, I'm going to travel. I mean, it's not even funny, you guys. I am going to travel now that I have the opportunity to travel, and I'm taking possibly Danielle, definitely my aide. So we're gonna be doing traveling in the next um, couple years here to see the world, because as I get older and as I get wiser, I need to get out of this Aspen bubble that we sit in, because Aspen itself is isolating. And even though I love Aspen, Aspen itself is isolating, and we're getting to the time where it's one way in and one way out, literally one way in and one way out. And the I need to travel. I need to take my mind off grief, and traveling is part of what I want to do with my life, and slash be a disabled advocacy journalist. And so that's what I want to do with my life. And along with doing this podcast, teaching you guys about cerebral palsy and CP and everything else that I know about CP, along with Danielle. And so, yeah, we're going to do a episode about CP and travel and the apps that I use for CP and travel, primarily Tripcase, and yes, Tripcase, the app that organizes everything, and I use United, and I know that the airlines um, the airlines have their own apps, but United flies primarily in and out of Aspen. Yes. And yes, I can only travel in the summer because it's easier that way. No traveling in the winter. That was a disaster to have the last time I did that. And so yeah. And so no traveling as of May, no scary hospital visit either. And so yeah, the last time I traveled was to go see my dad, and no, I don't want to do that again. And so yeah, the me travel, I would love to travel if it's not to a medical emergency. And me also travel. I am working on going to a conference due to podcasting. So I'm working on that, and as soon as I get my life organized, I'll be able to work on that even more. Thank you very much. And so I'm putting out to the universe right now that you guys can give me those of you who are going to be at podcast movement. You guys can give me a physical hug because you guys need to give me a physical hug. And trust me, you guys have been on a wild adventure. And Danielle has been on a wild adventure. And everyone on my team has, and so wild adventures continue. Um, and it's podcast movement is going to be grief stricken win because when you think about it, I'm communicating over Danielle and I are communicating over the airwaves um, right now, but podcasting is a form of communications. You just have these intimate moments in your ears instead of over the telephone or via every piece of technology under the sun. But podcasting is a form of communications. And so, yeah. And so hopefully I'll be able to make it out to to Dallas and if not this year, next year, you guys. If not in 2020, 2021, I will definitely be moving and shifting and traveling because I need I need to get out of here and I need to go clear my head. I need to get out of here and I need to go clear my head. And so I don't even know what a vacation is anymore, you guys. I don't even know what a vacation is anymore because when I came home from dealing with my dad, I went straight back to school and I'm taking a little bit of a sabbatical from school to transfer schools. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what a vacation is. Vacation? What's that? And so, when we do the episode on CP and travel, I mean, the last time I traveled was in 2017, and I haven't ta- taken a road trip, a official road trip, since May, you guys, and that was um that was only to Denver to a medical emergency. And so, me, road trip, I deserve a road trip. I deserve a plane trip. I deserve some sort of travel right now. And so now that I have the time and flexibility to do it after this year, I'm going to take advantage of that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this communications episode with CP. And as I said, we're doing in honor of 9/11. We're doing a episode about travel and CP, which is going to be a fun one because myself and the TSA do not get along. Do not get along. I'm telling you that right now, and I'm leaving it at that. And it's gonna be, and I'll explain why we're doing this episode this week. And yeah, I have upside down week. I'll briefly give you behind the scenes when we do the episode, which will drop Monday morning. But this episode will drop on Sunday. Then we're doing foods we don't like, and then we're doing Don't Judge Us by Our Looks. And then Danielle has to update the sheet again because Danielle made this sheet and gave it to me. And we have now used all the podcast episodes on the sheet. So if you guys have any podcasting ideas for cerebral palsy, please let me or Danielle know. And you guys know where to find us. You can actually tweet us at a Diary of a Fashionista 1 on Twitter, and then tweet me at Win Kelly Charles, and that's my personal Twitter, and just say this is Blind Diary of a Fashionista, you guys. And so, Danielle, do you want to say anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah. Thank you for your
Well, thank you guys. Thank you guys for following us. And thank you guys for your support. Man, it's been a wild ride since May. Oh my god, it's been a wild ride. I didn't know that. Of course I didn't know. I knew that I was going to lose my mind in May, which you guys helped me with. I didn't know that I was going to lose the sense of stability that I knew. God, I'm trying to get that back, you guys. I'm trying to get that back. So hard. But CP is staying at bay, thank God, because if it wasn't, I can do this podcast. But I want to thank you guys for your support. Thank Danielle. My list goes on and on, you guys. But I truly want to thank you guys for your support. And if you have any ideas for Diary of a Fashionista, please don't hesitate to reach out on Twitter, via text, via those of you that have my phone number, you're more than welcome to it. And I'm going to be on, well, 2 episodes. I'm going to be on the Throwdown, all about women's issues, all about my period and how I deal with that as a woman with cerebral palsy, and that's changed too since we recorded the episode. And then I'm going to be on the non-moms happy hour, which the non-moms happy hour is run by Debbie Joe and Kelly Menthal. And Kelly has chronic pain like you. And so I'm really excited to support these girls. And I know they listen to the podcast. So I know that Kelly does. Maybe Debbie Joe does too. I know because they follow me on Twitter and tweeted out my personal update on the podcast. So I'm really excited to talk about my personal journey with them, and that's going to be recorded on Monday, September 16th. I'm also going to be on the Women's Warrior podcast because I said now I'm a disabled advocacy journalist, and someone reached out to me and wants me to jump on there and talk. So that's going to be recorded on Monday, September 26th, and I will share those episodes out once they come out. And so, yeah, that's going to be my little contribution to the podcasting space. And I'm also trying to get into the podcast junkies again because I want to talk about disabilities and podcasting and more or less so SWIN. So I think I gave enough homecoming announcements, Danielle, and we'll catch you guys. This episode, as I said, will drop Sunday. We'll catch you guys on Monday morning, and we'll see you guys later. Bye, you guys.
Bye.